Hello everyone and welcome back to Jacqs. Thanks for joining me for another year of crafty goodness. I'm excited that you are here today as I kick off my year of bringing content to you. And what better way to do that than by sharing with you some tips and ideas that I have for creating and organizing my year. So as I share with you today, I'm also going to be providing a bit of a haul, and it's mainly planner related. So I thought what better way to share this information than by incorporating it into this video so that I can show you how I'm using the products along the way. Now you may want to get yourself a beverage or some snacks or even a project that you can work on while I'm going through this today. This is a long video, but I think it's going to be very useful for you, so I hope that you stay around and watch all the way through. So last year I had a planner that I used. I had a creative journal that I documented some of my year in. And then I also had this crafty notebook or journal, if you will, where I sketched out projects that I was creating. These were the main core pieces that I used. However, I found that I really wasn't getting into my creative documenting, which was really sad to me because this is the main thing that I love to do. So what I ended up doing was documenting in my planner. I had weekly pages in here where I would fill out everything that happened and just go with that. So while it's not pretty, at least my year is documented. And then I also used this journal. So I was carrying these two around quite a bit. My idea of this year was to kind of combine it all in one journal because sometimes I would forget to grab this and I'd have to go get it, and vice versa. I also wanted to shop my stash this year. So as I was looking through my stash, I found a Happy Planner notes that I had in my stash that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby. So I thought, why not use this? I had gotten used to the composition size, and this is from the Dollar Tree, and I kind of like that size after working with it for so long. So this would be the perfect size. This is a 7 by 9¼ inch. That's the Happy Planner Classic size. But this only included 3 divider tabs and blank lined paper. So while I had intended to use this, it actually got me thinking about all the components that I want to use. And I wasn't really married to the images or the dividers. So that got me down a rabbit hole. And so I immediately went out to the Happy Planner website. And I was looking for a cover because initially I had intended to use this. So the first thing I got from the Happy Planner was this deluxe snap-in cover. And you may be familiar with this in some of the products that I'm sharing today, but I'm not really a planner person. I don't consider myself that, but over the years I have become more and more of a planner person. So I'm still kind of new to all of the products. But this particular snap-in cover is a flexible cover, and I love that. That's one of the things I loved about creating my own planner last year. This was a laminated cover, and I loved the flexibility of it. So I kind of wanted to continue that this year. So this is sturdy and flexible all in one, which was perfect. So this is a really pretty sea foam faux leather cover. On the inside, it has a large pocket on the front and back cover, as well as a smaller pocket on the front cover. So that was the first thing I thought about, was the cover, and I really do like this. So this is the cover I'll be using for this year. The second thing I thought about was the planner disc, and I really didn't want to use the black ones. So what I ended up doing was checking out the Happy Planner disc, and I found this classic metal disc. This is an 11-piece pack. Really gorgeous pink color. So what I found in some of the research that I did over the week was that I always thought people just preferred the metal because they worked better. Well, what I have found out is that they like it better because it's shiny. It really doesn't have anything to do with whether or not it works better. It's just that it's prettier. So I thought that was interesting. So I purchased those. I may or may not use them because what I ended up doing was actually buying some additional planner disc from Michaels. So I picked up the Happy Planner medium disc in rose gold, and this is a 9-piece pack, and I really love this color. Now these are plastic. It's just a gorgeous color. But the one thing I don't like about them is that there is a little notch in each of them. And it's kind of distracting once you put it on to your cover. So while I really loved this combination here, what I really want is the rose gold in metal. And I think that would be perfect. So I thought I'd show you what they both look like on the cover. So here is the rose gold. Super pretty with this. I really do like that a lot. And then here is the pink one. So pretty. This is so fun. So I think I'm going to use the pink until I can get myself some metal rose gold disc, because these are just too distracting for me. Might be my OCD. I don't know, but it's just driving me a little crazy. So I'll use that when I'm crafting for others, because they probably won't be as neurotic as I am about it. So there we have our cover and our disc. So pretty. The next thing I thought about was how I was going to punch my paper for my planner. And I have several punches already. I have the We Are Memory Keeper planner punch. And I really do like this one. But sometimes I find it hard to line this up when I'm working with particular projects. Another one I have is the We Are Memory Keeper planner punch board. And it comes with these types of punches, but it is the same shape. And I found that this one doesn't really line up as well as this does. And even though this is better, I find this one a little difficult to use. And I wanted something easy to use. So I ended up purchasing the Happy Planner Classic Paper Punch. Again, all of these products were on excellent sale prices, so that's the reason I picked them up. So I got this one for probably less than $20 or less than $25, which was great. So this is what I use, the Happy Planner Punch. This is a 9-hole disc punch, and it only allows you to punch 3 sheets at a time. So that is a downside to the punch, but quite frankly, as I was creating my planner, I was actually working with fewer sections at a time, and I really didn't find it to be that big of a problem. It does have some guides here to help you align your paper when you put it in, but another possible downside to that is there's nothing for you to like rest your paper against. Like you see this here, you can't rest your paper there and put it in to punch it. You have to actually line it up within or on those lines to put it in. So it's kind of a freestyle punch. But it is easy to, you know, clean it out once you've used it, which is nice. And again, I found this to be quite easy to use, so I'm quite happy with it. Another set of discs that I picked up from Michaels was the Happy Planner Classic Metal Disc in white. These also come in a winter white, so make sure you pick up the right one when you're looking for white. If you are, it is definitely a different color. So I went with the white, and there are 11 pieces in this pack. And I really do love just the white planner disc, but I decided not to use it with my green cover. But again, these are white metal, really nice. Now these were a little bit more expensive. I think these were like $11 when I picked them up, but super pretty for a classic look. Okay, we have our cover, we have our disc, we have our punch for our pages. So let's go inside and talk about the pages. To start out my frankenplanner or my catch-all planner, I took one of the images from Paisley Press's new digital release and printed that out on vellum paper. I just love this 2023 image. So I'm going to be using that as my first item. And then what I did was use 2 paper collections to create my dividers and my tabs throughout my planner. And if you're not familiar with the term frankenplanner, that is when you have taken multiple pieces from different planners and put them all together to create one that works for you, which is what I'm doing. But by the time I got done, I realized I've probably created a catch-all planner where it actually has different purposes in one planner. And that's what this one is. It's more to me like a creative planner. So that's what I'll be calling it, a creative planner. Next, I use Cricut Design Space to create my own dividers and tabs. And I used 2 paper collections, Pink Fresh Studios, Keeping It Real Some Days. And I used this to decorate as well as for the main dividers because the paper was super thick. And that is almost like the divider pages in the Happy Planner. For some of the mini dividers that I created, which you'll see here in a moment, I used the Creative Agenda collection, and that is by Echo Park. This paper was also kind of thick, but I did double it up just to make sure it was thick enough. Now, again, I've had those collections in my stash for quite some time, and I'm trying to shop my stash this year. Here is my first divider. Again, I created these in Cricut Design Space. I will be providing that link to my files, and you should be able to use them whether you have a paid subscription or not. And in them, I created the divider with the tab all as one piece. This is about 7 3/8 inches wide, considering the tab, and 9 1/4 of an inch long. In my file, you'll also find these little white tabs, and I do have some of my tabs written out already. I probably will delete those so that you can create your own. But the font that I used on these white tabs is from Jennifer Maker, and it's called JM Handwriting, and I actually really loved it. And so I uploaded it into Cricut Design Space and use that to print out all of my little tabs. Now, I will provide a link to Jennifer's website where you can pick up the font for free if you like it as well. For my first section, I labeled it Journal, and what I'm using is the Heidi Swapp Stop the Blur Monthly Planner Insert. Now, I have taken this and I have removed the string from it. I cut the pages in half and then punched them with the Happy Planner paper punch so that I could be able to insert them into my planner. Now, what I have done is actually cut off 1/4 of an inch from the right side of these pages. It's actually 7 1/2 inches wide by 9 inches long. So it's a little short and a little bit too wide. But I really wanted to use this since I'm getting so used to using the landscape weekly pages. So here's my front page. Here is my first month. And what I decided to do was create a top tag or bookmark, if you will, so that I could put this here and easily open up my creative planner right to this spot. So I created this design, and it will also be in the file that I provide for my Cricut link. So what I'm going to do is really just glue these together. I wanted you to see that I doubled this up. So if you have super thick paper, you can just cut off part of it or delete it before you cut it out in Cricut Design Space. But I also have the label in there for this as well. So what's nice about this is I can reuse this each month, and it sticks over about 1/4 of an inch, and you still get a nice clean look from the front. So I did just a little bit of decorating so far. I'll probably come back and do some more. And then I've already used some stamping for my weekly pages so that I would be ready for the month of January. So my next section is goals, and the first thing I did here was an exercise to find my word of the year. I've done that for the last couple of years and I've really enjoyed it. Actually, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years now. Sometimes pay attention to it and sometimes totally forget about it, like last year. But I still do it as just a starter for the new year. And I then incorporate it into a vision or mood board, and that is exactly what I've done here using Canva. Cultivate is my word of the year, or one little word. And I really want to continue to cultivate my crafty community. I really enjoy it here. You guys are a lifeline for me, and I thank you for that. And I just really enjoy it. I want to be creative and inspire, and that's what you're seeing here on my vision board. So I also then have some areas for self-care, learn something new every day, just add a little faith to it all. And I want to continue to work from home, be healthy and exercise and just pay a little more attention to my health because I kind of don't. But overall, these are the areas of focus for me this year. I then use the arrow to create some more specific highlighted goals like grow Instagram to 1K, grow YouTube to 5K, and to focus on community, family, and friends. And over here, create something new, do what you love, which is crafting and journaling and documenting, and inspire others. Definitely something I want to do. And down here, I have some things on success and how I want to grow Jacqs Scraps or my professional career. And then over this section, I have more of the self-care area. So I just love doing this every year. It kind of gets me centered, I guess you would say. So I thought using Canva was a very quick and easy way to do it. There are other methods that you could do. You could use magazines and glue sticks and just a piece of cardstock. It all works however you create your own. So in this section, I'm keeping my weekly goals list. I found this on calendarlab.com. That place has so many good freebies for planners. I hope you check it out if you're a planner person or even if you just like to keep track or a little bit of organization. They have all different kinds of documents that you can download for free. And I just have really enjoyed them. You're going to hear me say their name several times throughout this video. But they had this, my goals this week. So I used it once and found that I really like it. I even did a little bit of sticker play there just to make it colorful, but you don't need to. So I'm going to be using these for each of my weeks. And some of the main things that I like about this is, let me show you a clean one. You have the week of here, so I just wrote out, you know, January 2 through the 8th for the first week. You have a section here for goals of the week. So if you really want to be good at project management, you break it down into little bitty bites, right? So you have your overarching goals, but then you break it down into smaller goals. And sometimes even then you break it down into smaller goals than that. This is where you can write out just those small goals for this week to help you achieve the larger goals. So that's what I'm going to do here. And from this section of goals, I'm then going to plot it out for each day of the week. This will help me to get those small goals accomplished to help accomplish the bigger goal. And I just love this. Now, there is one little block here that they had a name for, and what I did was I went on the computer and I just deleted it out, and I'm going to use it for future goals. So like sometimes things come up in the week that you don't want to get done that week, but you want to make sure that you do it in the future, and maybe it's not on another list somewhere else. So I had one and I just added it here, and that's what I'm going to use this section for any future goals. One of the reasons I put my vision board here on the back of the tab was so that whenever I'm working on my goals, I will see what my main focuses are. This will always be here. It will be a reminder as I'm working through my goals of what I'm trying to achieve. So at the end of the week, I would take this piece out and I can put it at the back of this section. And then I'll start on a new one for the year. So there's going to be no visual impairments that will keep this focus out of sight. So after my goals for the week, what I wanted to do was insert a side divider or side bookmark, whatever you want to call it. And this is what I've created. Again, this will be in the Cricut file. This is about 7 1/4 inches wide by 2 inches in height. It does have the little tab in the file as well, and it's all one piece. Now, I only cut out one, and then later on, I actually made it a double. So what I need to do here is just glue these together. But I did leave the single divider in case you have thick paper and you don't need to double it up. So you'll have both of these in the Cricut file. Now I'm giving you the measurements as I go along for those that don't have a Cricut. So while my main section is goals, I did want to be able to have these short little dividers in there so that I could divide some of the categories that I was putting under this section. So my main thing is the weekly goals. However, to support that, I wanted to have a brain dump area where I would just take some paper, write down all the goals, all the tasks, all the things that need to get done throughout the year, and I'll just have that as my brain dump. I will use that list to then create the goals for the week, and that will help you be successful in accomplishing your goals. So that's what's going to go back here. Now, I also may want to include some monthly reviews, which will help me know whether or not I am cultivating my focuses for this year. So I showed you in 2020 when I created this journal, I did a video on it, and I can link that down below. I actually have a playlist. I think it says My Journaling or something like that. I'll have that playlist linked down below so that you can see all of them. But I created this kind of a power sheet after I listened to the Cultivated Life podcast. And this was very helpful to review where you were at the end of the month on your goals. I categorize this in wellness, friends, family, finances, spiritual or personal growth, work, professional, career, recreation, and people I'm grateful for. But I'm not going to do that section here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing for gratitude in a moment. And then I did overall impression, my biggest fears, good things of what happened, and challenges. And then down here I have milestones. So this was a really nice way to look at your month and see where you are. So I want to reincorporate that. So I plan on putting that in this section as well. Now, like I said, I created this after listening to the podcast. If there are some of you that are interested in that, I will link the Cultivate What Matters website down below and their power sheets. They do actually have some that you can buy that's pre-printed, but mine is different. I just made it myself. If there is an interest, let me know and I'd be glad to share. My next section is trackers. For my trackers, I have several things that's going in this, my personal and my Jacqs trackers. So I actually looked into what a perpetual calendar was used for. Oh my gosh, there are so many uses for a perpetual calendar. I could do a video just on that alone. If there's interest, let me know. But I'm going to show you what I'm using and how I'm using them. So this particular year-long tracker came from the Calendar Labs. And again, this is just a printable. I loved it because you had all the months of the year and then the numbers here at the top. And it's just a simple, put a check or an X in the box when something happened. Now, of course, I've covered what this is because that's personal. But this is a great calendar and you can see I'm already using it. On the back side, I wanted to track my sleeping because, quite frankly, I don't always sleep very well. This is unusual that I've had 7 hours or plus a night. And like last night, it didn't happen. But this is something that I wanted to track. And so I did just put a little something on each of the pages to dress them up. This is from Keeping It Real, these little sweatpants, I love it. And this back to bed sticker just to make it a little fun. The next tracker I'm using is called A Year in Pixels, and this is from Lovely Planner, and that is another fabulous site for free printables for planners. Some of them you could even use in your scrapbooking. Now, I added a sticker here that says, a year from now, you'll wish you would have started today. And I thought that was pretty funny considering it's a year-long tracker. What's really great about this one is that you're able to create your own key. So you can put your own categories. You could do lines, dashes, you could use colors is what I've done here. And then you use those colors to mark out when it happened. So that's another great way to do some tracking rather than just a regular check off type of list. Now, I used a variety of different sheets in my creative planner because I like the variety. It keeps you alert on your pages and it's easily identifiable when you're flipping through your planner. The next tracker that I created was this one, and I labeled it "Last Time I Did ... And this is a great way to track: when did you change your furnace filter? When did you put salt in your water softener? When did you clean your water softener? Things like that are in the household that we need to track. This is a great way to do it. It's separated by month, and then there's several lines that you can use. There's even one little dash line here that you can put the actual date, which I really did like this. And I even included some of the dates from last year that I thought might be pertinent to this year. Now, this is a printable, again, from Lovely Planner, and what I did, she had important dates up here at the top, and I just removed that and put "Last Time I Did" up there. But this is a great way to track those things that we need to know about but don't really keep track of. I added this cute little real life sticker here because it was related to adulting. So here is my large tab, and I again wanted to create a smaller side divider or side tab. And so this is when I realized that I need to double up the paper. So this is what the image looks like in Cricut Design Space. Just going to close this up here. I'm going to again add it to the planner close to or behind the large tab for this section. So this section is going to be for my social trackers. So for those of us that create content, this is going to be something that might be useful for you. I like to know when I last posted a video somewhere, and sometimes I forget because I'm not really tracking it. So this year I wanted to track when I just posted. It doesn't have to be the name or any of that other information. I can do that somewhere else. I just need to know when I last posted on YouTube, on Facebook, because I don't like there to be a big gap, even though it happens. So this is a monthly planner that I found on Calendar Labs. It's called Family Calendar, and I renamed it Social Posting Calendar. And that's just so that I know when I posted in YouTube, my YouTube community, Instagram story, Facebook, and maybe Ko-Fi. I just put that one on there just in case I want to keep track of that one. But it has the day and the name of the day of the week. So while I changed this to social categories at the top, that's why they call it a family calendar, is because you could put each of your family's name here and be able to keep track of them on that particular day of the month if they have any activities. So a great calendar. I just, again, added a few little stickers, but that's what I'm going to use it for each month, just to know when I started posting to particular areas. Now, something that I thought about using this year is the YouTube community. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a section that is part of YouTube where we can actually communicate a little bit more. I actually recently put out a post on there asking you what is the best day of the week, if more than one is fine, that is good for you to view YouTube videos. I thought about changing up my days. I was doing typically Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and I'm thinking about changing that. I'm going to need a little bit more personal time this year, so I was thinking about maybe Wednesday, Saturday, or something like that. But you can let me know down below in the comments, or go out to the community section and answer that poll that I have going there. Another item for those of us that are content creators that I created are social stats, and this one is for Instagram. I'm going to check them monthly. I'm not going to be checking weekly and get erratic about it. This is just to kind of help guide me on what content is being viewed and what maybe isn't, so I can change my strategy. So on this one, I just have the months listed at the top. I have the date that I'm checking, the number of posts, number of reels that I did that month, the number of stories that month, my followers for that month, how many are unfollowed, how many did I reach with the posts that I did create, the impressions, the engagement, likes, comments, saves, shares, profile visits, and bio link clicks. So that's something that I'm going to try and keep track of this year, or at least once in a while just to know where I'm at stand. You can check your stats on your top post for the month. So I wrote that down here, my top posts, my top reel, and my top stories. Again, it's just all information that helps guide us on what kind of content people are looking for. So I plan on doing this for Facebook, for YouTube, just to, again, help guide me. Now, I created these tables on my own in Excel, but if anyone is interested in having this, let me know. I can share a blank template with you. But I do know that there are plenty of statistical templates out there because I found some and downloaded them, but I just didn't use them. They weren't exactly all together what I wanted. So that's why I ended up creating my own. This year, I wanted to include faith in my creative planner. So that's what this section is. On the back, I added this sticker that I found. As I was putting all of this together, I kept coming across this saying, and so I thought, why not add it here? It says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. And so I think I might use the backside here for when I find quotes or something related to faith that might be inspirational, and I'm going to add it to the back of that. So what I'm putting in my face section is gratitude. What I'm using is this adorable little clipboard layout from the Reset Girl. This was part of her Crafty Club playbook, and I just love it. It is so adorable with these cute little clipboards. They have the numbers on it, 1 through 31. It's a nice small area to where you could put a brief little gratitude each day, and to me that is good. I just want something brief and quick that I can do rather than creating a very long type of entry. So I'll be using that. Another thing that I wanted to include in my faith section was an area to write out maybe some prayers. And so I created this digital layout. These little half note papers are from Illustrated Faith. The words and little elements here, the little girls, that's from Robin Sansom. This was free. I did pay for the little notepad here, and I will have this link down below for you so you can find it. I just love that. I think it's adorable. So I'm going to use this inner section here so that I could maybe write out some prayers. I know we often say them verbally or not, but I wanted a place to maybe actually write some down. Now on the front, I am using this page from Kelly Bangs, and what I did was just cut it down to have the Polaroids, and I kind of blew them up a little bit to the 7 by 9 1/4 size. And I then added some elements from Robin Sansom here. And then on the back, this is Kelly Bangs here as well. And again, these images here are Robin Sansom. Those were free from both of these ladies. And I'll link both of their sites down below. The frames and the Polaroid from Kelly Bangs came from her Crafty Me app, which is free to sign up for. And once you get the app downloaded, you can get these freebies. But then they also have monthly subscriptions that you can be a part of. For the Polaroid and frame area, I thought I could use that for prayers as well, or I could use it to document when there has been movement and something has actually occurred that I've been praying about. So my next section is called Create, and that is going to be my new crafty notebook. And I'm going to incorporate it here so it's all together. In this section, one of the first things that I created was a 2023 crafting calendar. I put little blocks, one for each of the months, and in those you can see here in the grayed out section, I put all of the holidays for that month. I even included like National Craft Month, we have World Craft Day, we have World Card Making Day that's in here as well. And for me, since I'm a designer for Country Craft Creation, I even included some of the retreats and virtuals that are going to be going on throughout the year. So I put all of those up in the gray area. So underneath the gray area, I have two little sections here. On the left-hand side, I list out the category, holiday, the item that I should be crafting for that month, but this is for something that's coming up. On the right-hand side, I created an area for like any commitments. Like I'm on Country Craft Creations, so I put C3 here, and DD, which is Dunia Designs. I do digital scrapbooking for her. So how this works is, let's say I'm in a month and I'm like trying to think about something to create. I can look at this calendar and let's say it's in April. I can look here and see all the categories that I could be creating projects for in that month. We have Mother's Day, Memorial Day, National Scrapbook Day, Teacher Appreciation, which is in May. So all these categories here are things that are coming up. And that way you are actually crafting ahead of a holiday. A lot of times I get stuck where I'm crafting for the holiday in that month or right when it happens, and I kind of lose out on sharing those things ahead of time. And so I want to get better at pre-crafting for the holiday, if that makes sense. Like if you think about Christmas, some people do Christmas in July. So that's what I have in July, Christmas in July. So that I can maybe start doing some Christmas projects in July. Or at least it alerts me to, I have all these other months in between that I could start doing Christmas projects. This is really just a look ahead and what I could be focused on now to be ready for the holiday when it gets here. And I really like this, and I do think this is a handy tool. Again, this is something that I created. I don't know exactly what all you might want, so if this is something somebody is interested, I'd be happy to share. I can take out my design team stuff and my Country Craft Creations items and then share that type of a template with you and leave all the other holidays. But again, this is something that I created on my own, and this is just to be a reference or resource. You may be wondering what is in this little pocket over here. This vinyl pocket is from Target. And what I have in there is a little project tracker. And what I'm going to do is when I figure out the project I'm making, I've got it started out on my project plan, I'm going to put the name of it on here. Then I can take this little piece and I can move it up to my goals section and have that be part of my tracking system that I do for my goals, just to make sure that I get it done. So what I have on here is a place to name the project, and then I have brainstorm project, collect the supplies, create the project or a prototype, post sneak peeks on Country Craft Creations, since I'm a design team member, film the project and do the tutorial, take photos, edit photos, compile the video, create a thumbnail, post or schedule the video, post to Country Craft Creations, then create your IG post and do that, create your Facebook post and do that. And then what I also do is I log the products that I use, and that helps me to calculate the price of the projects that I create to sell. I then need to upload it to Etsy and need to make an Etsy video because that's a shorter time than all the other ones. And then now I've been using Ko-Fi, and I want to start making sure I post regularly there. And then I have clean up my area. Now this is a great little tracker to make sure that when one little project comes up that I do all of these things. You may not know how long it takes us content creators to create a video and put it out for you, but it's quite a long time and there's lots of little pieces to go with it. So please appreciate the time that it takes us to get things out to you, because we do them as quickly as we can. Here's one that I used for the camping mini album that I just did. Here I started it on one day, 2 days later I came back to it. So you see, that's why I needed the tracker, because sometimes I forget what part of the project phase I'm in, and I need this little tracker to keep me straight. So I have found this to be very helpful. Right now I'm on the Minte Chippy's glove, which is going to be coming out next. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you are a content creator and would like my little cheat sheet here, let me know and I'd be glad to share that with you. Now, since I am on Country Craft Creations design team, I do keep track of all the collections that I get and all of the projects that I've created using that particular collection. And then I kind of mark off my design team commitments and if I've met them. What I've done here is I have all of them and I've left room so that I could add more as the year goes on. In this section, what I want to do is keep track of all the things I create. I have a hard time knowing what all I've created. So I want to include all my design teams, all my personal crafting, things that I've made. And that way I can just look back on this list and have it all right here. Because I would really be curious to know how many digital layouts did I make? How many craft projects did I create? It would just be interesting to know, am I making progress in creating more? Am I creating less? Am I creating bigger projects? You know, it's just something I think about when I think about creating content for all of you. So I created this spreadsheet in InDesign. Again, this is something that I could share with you. What I have is the items. So like here's an example. I created this everyday project restart layout, and this was for Dunia Design. So I have DD here. I have a little key down here as well. I have the month when I made it and what it was. So I have C3 for Country Craft Creations, Dunia Designs, myself, Paper House, and then other. That's really all I create for. So this is a great way to track that. But like I mentioned, this is something that I could just take out my own personal design teams and include some blank columns for you if you would like me to share it. Next, I'm adding another small divider here for projects. And this is where I'm going to be mapping out all of my crafty projects, no matter what they are related to. Now, if you recall, last year I created this crafty project plan. It is a great way to keep track of the name of your project, the paper collection you're using, what type of project it is, when you started, when you finished it, and just other notes related to that. I have a hard time of knowing how long it takes me to create something. And the fact that I kind of watch movies and do other things while I'm creating, it kind of draws out the project. And I want to be a little bit more efficient with my time this year. So I thought this would be a really great crafty and time tracker. So on the back side, if you recall, I have a supplies list here. Again, this is handy and a great way for us to learn and remember to shop our stash. So I put a couple of those in here. I'll have that link down below for you in case you would like to get it. And then I found at the end of last year that I love to use graph paper. Before, I was just using blank pages from a composition book, and it was working out fine. I would create my little designs on here. They weren't pretty, but they were made. But then I started to create the 8x8 interactive mini album, which you all just saw. It was the camping mini album. And I happened to use some grid paper because I wanted to figure out how to be efficient with the cardstock that I was using. This was a great way to track that and a great way to map out my little designs. So since I did that, I am now sold on graph paper. So this cover sheet here I got from Lovely Planner. This is a new January 2023 printable that she created, and I just love the design. It was so comfy, cozy. I just need it in there. It's just pretty. But behind that, I took some regular graph paper and I cut that down to be 7 by 9 1/4, just so I could put it here into my planner. So now I'm going to be able to do all my planning, all my creative documenting in one planner. I just love that. Once I've used up my project plans and my grid paper and my projects are complete, I'm going to pull these pages out and create a separate crafty notebook. And it will resemble this, but I will do it on the disc binding system. So from Happy Planner, I also picked up these really mini discs so that I could use when I only have a few pages. But as the year goes on, I know I'm going to have lots more pages to add. So I also picked up these gold expander discs from Michaels that I could use to expand my notebook. Now for the crafty notebook for 2023, I'm going to be creating my own cover. So I came across this product that the Happy Planner had on their website, and that was called Create Your Own Custom Cover. Now I did find this at Joann's and probably Michael's, but it was cheaper on the Happy Planner website. So I picked this up, and it comes with 2 covers in a pack for your front and back cover. And what's great about these is you'll see there's a white cardstock here. Well, you can pull this out. So what that means is you could insert your own cover, which would be great to creating your own crafty cover. I just love that idea. These are for the classic Happy Planner size, so they will be perfect when I need to transfer my documents from here to kind of a holding notebook. So that's my plan for how the crafting portion will work. My next section is going to be for notes. So this is just plain lined paper to just write out any notes. This is the notes I started with on how to create my planner. And this was for my word of the year. So that's how I'll use that section. I was going to include my Wellness Traveler's Notebook journals that I've been using to track my fitness and health, but I've decided that it's just too bulky and I'm going to keep them in a separate area. And then in the back, what I've done is found this map and created it with the time zones so that when we have virtual retreats or whatever, and there's a particular mountain time that's said, I can actually come here because I never remember the time difference, and this will help me out in figuring out what time it is for the Eastern area, which is where I'm at. So that is my creative planner for 2023. I hope that some of the tips and information that I provided is helpful for you. I did a lot of research on how to set this up, and I set this up for me. So I know I'm going to use it. I know that it has things in it that I want to use. And that was the one thing about it. I wanted it all in one place. I didn't want to have a separate planner for this, a separate planner for that, and have 13 planners in the end. I found in my research that a lot of people have a lot of planners, and that just is not something that would work for me because I couldn't even keep track of 3. I was only focusing on 2. So I think I'll have a better chance with having everything here in one planner, and I'm really kind of excited about it. So are you doing any planning this year? I would be interested in hearing your feedback and how you liked this video. Would you like to see more of them? I thought about coming back and actually doing my creative journaling for the first week of January. But again, I want to make sure that I'm providing content that you like. So what I'm saying is don't be afraid of commenting in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what kind of content you would like to have. What are your goals? I would like to help you meet your crafty goals. And we can do that together on this channel. I have provided some helpful tips and lots of areas where you can go to pick up some freebies to create your own planner to help you be successful. And that's really what it's about. I'm here to help inspire and help you in your journey, just as I am in my own. So with that being said, I wanted to be a little bit more efficient in my crafting this year, and I'm hoping to do that by bringing back a series that we did that is still done periodically, but not on a regular basis, and that is the What a Card series. I would like to do that every second Wednesday of the month. And I've also had several requests over the years to do more Memory Decks cards, so I'm thinking about doing a Memory Decks series every fourth Wednesday of the month. And then I also have another large project that I'm still mapping out. Once I get that done, I'll be sharing that with you as well. So that's just a little peek into my crafty goals for this year and my personal goals, and I'm excited to share those with you as we go throughout the year. And I'm really looking forward to all the craftiness that we're going to be doing. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'll see you in the next video.